Dusty Rhodes and his family. You don't know what hard times are, Daddy. You know it. Get ready. Woo! We are doing, and we're doing it better than anybody else alive.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, wrestling fans, and sports entertainment fans, welcome to the No Shave Man Cave. I'm Ellie Jair.
I'm Jay Tilley. SummerSlam,
Man,
baby.
What a great time to be a wrestling fan. And we've got an awesome SummerSlam. The card is going to be great. AEW is doing its damn thing. We're marching up to All In and All Out. And man, this is so much fun. So much fun, man. What do you think?
Oh, I agree. I think, we've been talking about this since we started recording, that I think wrestling is in a revolution right now and a boom. I think I read somewhere that over the last month, wrestling between AEW and WWE has grown almost 3 million fans. So that's huge. Like, those are some big, crazy numbers. And I don't think it's done. If you look at, and like tonight's show, we'll probably start with AEW and then we'll go into some WWE stuff because we'll wrap up right before SummerSlam goes on the air, and then we'll watch it and probably cut a review for you guys, and it'll be up on the channel, or at least on our podcast or our channel, not necessarily on this one. But if you look at, like you said, just the growth and just All In alone, 78,000 tickets sold. They're just now starting to drop matches. And I think MJF and Adam Cole is going to be one of those really good matches. And I don't even think, I know it's the main event, but I have a feeling Tony's got something up his sleeve for a marquee match. You've got the rumors of Jericho and Will Ospreay, but you've got to know the Elite's going to be there. They would not miss that. So
right,
what they're going to do, I don't know. If you watched Rampage, we got a little hint that, we're possibly going to see Young Bucks back in tag action. So maybe we'll get Young Bucks FTR at All In, which would be really good. And, Omega on Dynamite dropped in the little, maybe I'll show up a Collision. Not that I don't think they have enough time to build. Maybe. But, the marquee match would be Punk versus Omega. Like, who wouldn't want to see that match?
Wow.
However, yes, I think it would sell tickets. I just don't think the love and emotion would be there off the bat. So I'd almost like to see that down the road, build a better story. Like I've been saying since the whole all brawl out happened, build a crazy invasion story and do it that way. So who knows what's going to happen, but I'm curious what the marquee, like, oh my God, we got to buy tickets for this match will be. No offense to MJF and Adam Cole. I think it's going to be, I love the MJF Adam Cole story. I think it's one of the best there is. And there's so much to pick apart about that whole storyline and what's going to happen. And is Adam Cole going to turn on MJF, or are the Kingdom and Grumpy Roderick Strong going to get involved, or is MJF swerving us all? Like, there's so much. And I'm sorry, man, MJF is the best out there right now. There's nobody I can think of that can orchestrate a crowd, has the in-ring that he has, like him. I mean, I would challenge people in the comments, tweet us, let us know who's better right now at what he's doing. Because MJF can go from you hate his guts to, oh, I feel bad for this guy. The story about the quarters getting thrown at him and calling him Jew boy and all. I'm like, that's emotional and powerful stuff. And it's the second time he told the story, because he used it in the Punk one too. But I still was like, God, man, I feel bad for this guy. Like, all right. So I just think he's one of the best there is at doing this. And it's amazing what he can do and how he does what he does.
And being relatively young, and he's healthy, which is awesome, because you get a couple of bumps down the road and you start showing and feeling your age. And he's so young. He's doing so just awesome work. And like you said, he can go from, oh, it looks like we got a bunch of the Devil's fans here. okay, so he's still holding on to the MJF character, but now how you're talking about people are getting emotionally invested in the MJF and Adam Cole story, the double clothesline, like, oh man, like,
People would be chanting for those lines.
golly, that is just, it's awesome. So I think, the company's, 5 years old. They're really just nailing it. And, you've got the Blackpool Combat Club, just, oh, the, the twists and turns. And I'm still trying to figure out why Mox, you know, um, basically surrendered in the
Right. The blood and guts.
I watched it twice, and the look on his face, I'm like, did something happen? So I may have to go back and watch it again, just because and now nobody's talking about it. So then I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna take my WWE hat off and just look at it as a fan and go, oh, okay.
So I read into that as, so if you remember when he was feuding with Hangman, the way Hangman beat him was literally hanging him by the chain off the rope, and Mox topped out because he was being hung. He had no. So I looked at the end of the match as, that's my protege. That's somebody I'm training and working with, the young version of me. I know what that feels like. I surrender. Like, I don't want him to get choked out like I was. That's how I read the ending, at least. So showing that he had a heart and he actually cared a little bit about his crew, which is interesting, because then you see Rampage in the parking lot brawl, and they almost scare the hell out of Sue, and she runs off in the Destroyer van, and like, okay, well, there's the ruthless asshole that is the Blackpool Combat Club. And there's such a dynamic group, because you got Moxley, who's this badass, bleed, violent, just the fork stuff, and just all the violence he does. Then you got Claudio, who's like this very technical wrestler, and looks like he can mean mug you pretty good, but he's always very stoic and straight. And you got the little shit heel of Yuta, who's just like squirmy, just kind of like one of those guys you're like, oh, he gives me the creeps. He's just a dirty little scumbag, and they're just such a great group together. I enjoy watching them, and it's awesome to see the evolution of them. I want them to get in a good proper feud, though. Like, the Elite one was good, but I want to see them into something real good. And I'm a fan of the Best Friends, but the Best Friends aren't it. They had a nice little run, so I'm hoping that's not what's going to go into All In. I was thinking Death Triangle would be good, and I don't know if the Pac injury is legit or if it was storyline because he couldn't make it for the match on this coming Dynamite. Because a Blackpool Combat Club versus Death Triangle, that'd be a good All In, I think, especially with Pac being from there.
Yeah.
So that might be where they're going. And that'd be a decent match. You get some really good interactions with Penta, and we saw that on Wednesday with the no holds barred match. Like, Penta, he gets pretty violent. Just look at some of his old Penta what was he? Penta Dark, when he was over in what's that promotion
Lucha.
you like? Yeah, that's it. Lucha.
Yeah, man. I watched some clips the other night, and I think I mentioned this before, but Chelsea Green hit Penta with a Canadian destroyer, and it was unbelievable. And then you think about that, the character development of, when they were the tag team champions, and when they wrestled separately, and just the way they fly around. I think Death Triangle would be a lot of fun, but then what is Daniel Bryan going to do?
Well,
or Bryan Daniels.
Is he going to be good to go for All In? Because that's a pretty significant.
Oh, that's right.
Break.
He broke his arm. That's right.
Yeah, so I don't know if he'll be good to go by then. And there's a couple questions. Like, it doesn't look like Jamie Hayter is going to be good. I think last I heard she might be out till at least February. So the injury she sustained was a little worse than we thought. Yeah. I don't know what the status of Thunder Rose is. She's still doing rehab and stuff. And if you haven't watched her vlog that she just put with her getting the cupping, where they, oh gosh, man. Like, I've seen the bruises, so I know kind of what it was about. But watching her go through it, and I don't know if you've seen it or not, but they do all the cupping,
No,
and
not yet.
then he's got her doing yoga stuff, so you can see the cups like pull. It was like bleh. It just looked awful, and he's taking them off, and one of the last ones, if you catch it, like it was on so tight that it split her skin, so like she was bleeding, and he kind of wipes it down. I'm just like, that's some dedication right there, because that, like,
Dude.
just the look on her face, you could tell it did
Yeah.
not feel good.
Mm.
So,
Yeah, I mean,
but
she's
she's
obviously
doing
putting in the
everything.
work.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's obviously putting in the work to get back, and anyone who gets injured and has to make their way back, especially, as David LaGreca calls her, the most dangerous woman with a microphone. She's doing a lot of really great things, but man, I really hope we see her back in a AEW ring soon.
yeah,
And there's so much that AEW could write to just make money with a woman's program, with a multitude of women on that roster who have, whether it was they went public or someone made something public of their interaction with Thunder, which, I mean, there's just so much there. If it's
yeah,
Brit, that would be, pure money. Something with Ruby Soho, I think would be a lot of fun because they haven't, really done a whole lot. So
right.
yeah, there's a lot there. And I can't believe it's already been 200 episodes, and, time flies, and it's so awesome to see everything that they're doing. And if they could nail on top, like all those storylines that they're doing, and they're taking moments and thoughts and comments and, some sneaky camera angles from 2 years ago, and they're just now like bringing it out, and you're like, oh my God, I totally remember that. And I
Yep.
thought something about that then, and now look, here we are. So yeah, I wish Thunder a quick recovery. Same thing with Hayter. Um, it's just terrible she was really on a roll, and now we'll see what's going to happen with the new women's champion. Whoo,
Yeah.
man, your girl.
Yeah, Sheeta, man, I did not see that coming. I don't think a lot of people saw it coming.
Yeah.
And I went back and I watched the match again, and I'm like, okay, maybe I could kind of read it coming, but in the moment watching it live, like, was like, what? They just hold on, did I just see that right? She just pinned her. Fantastic. And I
Yeah.
think storyline, it makes sense. Like, I don't know if this was a decision for months going in or not, or if this was, hey, we've got an updated report on Hayter. She can't go at all in. How are we going to do this now? Well, let's switch it, put it on Sheeta, and then have Saraya beat Sheeta for it at her hometown, which is what they could do. Not saying that's what they are going to do, but it could be, right? So now you've given Sheeta, who carried the belt during the pandemic age and was a great champion, did some really good stuff, but no crowd, to giving her that pop. She's going to get a huge reaction in All In. And now you've got Saraya coming out, who will also get a huge reaction because she's hometown. So I think it's a good way to do it, because I imagine the plan was probably for Tony to lose to Jamie Hayter, making her appearance and coming home, where now you can do it with Saraya, but you don't want Saraya beating Tony. So I can understand some of the storyline on it. But yeah, it was a great twist. I guess if I'd have prognosticated it out, I probably could have come this way, but I wasn't thinking that. And now that I'm looking back, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, it makes sense storyline wise. And I don't want to say politics, because Lord knows women wrestling politics is all over the social media right now. And, I don't want to get into all that mudslinging and the he said, she said. I'm not in the locker room. You're not in the locker room. 90% of the people, probably 99% of the people on Twitter talking shit about it aren't in the locker room. So,
Right.
but,
yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like,
yeah, it's funny because we had talked about, like, we were going to get into it and talk about it a little bit. I will talk all day long about booking women wrestling and what I think they should do. I'm not going to get into that bullshit.
Yeah.
There's no other way to say it.
I don't want to feed into it. So let's book it.
Yeah. But I absolutely thought Sheeta winning over Tony Storm was a really good feel-good moment. It was really a nice thing, I guess is the way to say it, to give her that win in front of a crowd. The crowd went nuts
Yeah.
for it, which is good. The nostalgia feeling of, oh, I miss Sheeta as the champion was cool. And that needs to be the kickoff point. Like, they main evented, which is great. So this needs to be the kickoff point for Tony Khan to pull his head out of his butt, or whoever he's got booking SA and parentheses the women's division, to go, oh, that was a good reaction. I don't know what the ratings did. I didn't look. I'm assuming it probably did okay. Like,
Yeah.
use that. Like, this is a stepping off point. This is what people want to see. You can book the women's wrestlers just as the same as the men. There's no difference. Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand and it's not just AEW. And I know it probably sounds like I'm bashing them right now, but look at WWE. Rhea Ripley, not on SummerSlam. You've got,
Makes no sense.
which blows my mind. You've got one match
Yeah.
with 3 women in it on SummerSlam. And it's just the women. Oh, 2. You've got the MMA match with,
Okay. Yeah.
but
Baszler and Ronda.
yeah, but they could have eliminated the Battle Royal. As much as I want to see LA Knight win something, why not
Yeah.
just book him in a match and then give the tag team women's titles a match. Or Rhea Ripley. Good God. Yes, she'll be out there. She'll do stuff with the Judgment Day, but it's just, so it's not just, I think it's a North American televised wrestling, because I don't want to say North American because you got things like Mission Pro Wrestling, GCW, you got some of the other ones, TNA, that have really good women's division. The 2 big ones, for whatever reason, aren't doing it, and it's a shame.
Yeah, and you look, and so many of the women are so athletic, they can just get after it. Their gear always looks great. Their move sets are fantastic. We just had Willow and Athena main event, Ring of Honor show. I mean,
So good.
Monet Trinity is, really pulling some awesome ratings for Impact. So it's like, why? Yeah, I mean, we talk about this all the time. Like, well, wait a minute. What if, we should do an episode? We should do a show where we just like fantasy book, all the women's divisions. And what would be super cool is AEW could do it on their own, but if AEW were to do sort of like a Forbidden Door tournament, and just, oh man, that would be awesome. Just like the WWE did with the Mae Young Classic. So there's a lot of opportunity there, and Tony and the creative team are, I feel like they're really starting to hit their stride. And you've got, what is it, 5 hours of television that is really getting much better. Rampage used to be like, well, I guess we're not going to cover Rampage anymore, and it's actually been a pretty decent show. So kudos to the team there, and I really wish we could see a little bit more Ring of Honor on television, but I've got Paramount Plus, so I guess that'll do, or Fightful, or not Fightful, but the network, the Fight Network.
And so, I've got the Ring of Honor subscription too, but I agree. It'd be cool. I want AEW to get their streaming service, period. So that way we can, because, getting out of the women's stuff and talking about just Wednesday night in general.
Yeah.
And you kind of mentioned it, like they've been around for 4 years, whatever it's been. And they're still built this nostalgia in us to where I'm watching it going,
yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was cool. And I really thought that was great. They did the Brody Lee thing, and there are all these things they did. And yeah, it was just powerful to watch. And then, even the set where they had the old tunnel set up and everything, I'm like, this is cool. Like, this is pretty neat. And it's interesting because I looked and I was like, well, I'm just curious. So WCW's 200th episode was like the beginning of the downfall for them. Like, it was one of their worst rated shows, and it was right in the time period where they started their crash. And I'm like, I don't see that with AEW. I think they're on a steady pace. If anything, they're going to start improving as they tweak things and continue to grow and get better. But yeah, it was a neat very nostalgic show. There were some things I didn't like on Dynamite, but overall, I thought it was a decent show, and I appreciated it. And like I said, like for it to only be around for 4 years, and kind of get that feeling like, oh yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
Especially some of it because we were there for a lot of it when they were doing Daly's Place. It's like
Right.
I was in the audience for that. I was there, so that was kind of cool too.
And yeah, I mean, in the COVID era, wrestling was very difficult to watch. I really appreciate what AEW did, bringing the wrestlers ringside and having them as an audience, and then the WWE tried to really force it and have the wrestlers behind the glass, and that seemed real impersonal. And then of course you had the Thunderdome type of stuff, but yeah, it was an unfortunate situation, and some of the champions that were there during that era, Sheeta being one of them, the debut of Hardy in no audience. Imagine him debuting now,
right?
That would have been wild. But yeah, I think to have that feeling after just a short amount of time, it's like, wow, this is really cool. I feel like I'm really part of something. Of you were on board at like before they even had one episode, and just how they've like endeared themselves to the fans so quickly. I love it, man. I think it's really cool. And seeing Cody was pretty happy to hear that the Elite re-signed, and he made the comment. He said, yeah, Nick said it's pretty cool to be making some NBA money. I was like, yo, let's go. So good,
Yeah.
Good for them. They got paid, and they're putting out an awesome product and really taking us fans on a no shit suspended belief. It's and the swerves, like you said, Sheeta coming out the winner. That's awesome. So
speaking of
swerves, I like
Swerve,
it.
speaking of Swerve, totally use that to segue into Swerve Strickland.
Yeah.
And the attack on Nick Wayne. Wow. Like, so if you would have told me a week ago, hey man, AR Fox, he's going to All In, I'd have been like, what, like a battle royal or something? Like, why? Now I'm like, oh my God, I want to see AR Fox and Swerve versus Nick Wayne and Darby Allin in like a no holds barred, and then get somebody on the team of Swerve and AR Fox, I don't know who, and bring Sting out and make it a 3-on-3, because Swerve made the comment about you have lots of enemies out there, Darby. So I'm like, I want to pull up his cage match now and go, okay, who is Darby Allin fought that could come out and would be a really cool partner, to go against Sting?
Yeah.
And yeah, it was fantastic. Great vignette. And I love that dude, I don't know how much it was real blood or what, but it looked like a massacre.
Dude, seriously. I was like, oh man.
Yeah, it was great. But it went from, and that's it, right? That's storytelling. Like, that's getting you emotionally invested, because I went from AR Fox, whatever, like he's fun to watch, to, oh my God, I want to see Darby Allin coffin drop him through a flipping table now. Like,
yeah,
I want to see him get his. So, and again, like I said, I think on one of our podcasts or maybe this show, what a genius way to book Nick Wayne coming in, because even the vignette they shot on his very first one about this is my dad, it was right there where they just attacked him, including the picture that they used to bust him open with. I'm like,
yeah,
talk about like putting all this together and piecing it all together. It's just, wow. It was such great storytelling. And for other than the MJF and Adam Cole thing, which in my opinion is the best storyline going on right now. Sorry, Bloodline fans. I love it. I love the MJF Adam Cole thing. So much fun. The match with FTR was great. Their interactions and the whole, what are they going to do? Like, I have no idea how to call the match at All In. I will save it for when we do an All In preview. Probably whatever Saturday that is, we'll be on here and we'll talk about it like we're going to do SummerSlam in here a little bit. But
yeah,
I It could go so many directions. It can go to a no contest. It can go to Adam Cole turning heel. It could go to MJF, or it could just be a straight up handshake, good match, and then that's it. I don't know what they're gonna do. Are we building the Kingdom and Roderick Strong versus MJF, Adam Cole, and you bring Wardlow back, and now you've got like I have no idea. They've got me in the dark on this one.
Yeah, and sometimes you can tell what's going to happen. You're like, okay, here we go. They sort of foreshadow. It's awesome, and I think how the match goes, it obviously has to play into something with CM Punk because he's walking around with another title.
Yep.
So is there a story with CM Punk and Adam Cole? No, not at first, but then I'm sure they could craft something and be like, oh yeah, when 5 years ago when you weren't in wrestling, blah blah blah. But then do you get the title off of MJF? So then he goes and settles up with CM Punk. Maybe he wins that title, or is it title versus title?
Yeah.
So MJF
do you
comes
unify
out the
it? Maybe all ends with MJF winning, standing there with the belt, and CM Punk's music hits, and he walks out with his belt and challenges him. Hey, next weekend, you and I were going to finish our story, and you get MJF and CM Punk at All Out in Chicago. That would be a way to go. Although I'm okay. I didn't think I'd be okay with it. I'm okay having two different belts right now.
Yeah.
Because they seem to be doing a good job of keeping Collision and Dynamite separate. I mean, they feel like separate shows. Yes, there's some crossover. That's fine. But the feel of the show is different. I look at...
Absolutely.
So, in my opinion, I watch Dynamite. It's like, here we go. Let's go. Oh, my God. It's a lot of fun. Oh, yeah. Here we go. And I watch Collision like, oh, man, this reminds me of old school, which is what they're going for. Saturday night main event. Sitting at home with my buddies, or by myself or whatever, eating some pizza, feet up, just relaxing and watching good old fashioned wrestling unfold in front of me. Slower, more methodical pace, storytelling, more crisp, no high flying. I don't think we haven't seen anybody on Collision do a 450 splash or anything crazy, and I think it's fine. I don't want to see Vikingo show up on Collision. I don't think he would fit. I think it would be out of place. Put him on Dynamite all the time. I like that guy. I want to see more of him. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know what? We have a connection with somebody in Mexico. I forgot to ask. I'm gonna see if we can get some Vikingo, gear. You know what? I'm gonna fire off a text when we're done with this. You're like, hey man, hook me up with some Vikingo stuff. Go to one of the shows and grab me a shirt. But he wouldn't fit on Collision. So I appreciate that. I think it's a really good way to do it. I think if you're going to do a brand split, that's the way to do it. Make them feel like separate shows. Make them have their own identity. Whereas with WWE Raw and SmackDown, it's the same show. One's red, one's blue. But it's the same storytelling. It's the same... Hell, like the draft didn't even last more than 3 weeks before AJ Styles was jumping ship.
Seriously.
So, and Dominic Mysterio is on both now. Like, I don't... And I know I'm contradicting myself.
He was on all three shows. He's on both all three shows, and now he's the NXT North American champion.
Yep.
And I get, they wanted to develop him a little bit and get him down at the Performance Center without making it look like a demotion because he's so over.
Yeah.
You need him on the screen. Everybody is so excited to see Rhea. And for good reason. And it's the exact opposite.
Yeah.
They're happy to see him so they can shit on him. Man, the guy can't even take a breath.
Nope.
Without getting booed. And, how do they make amends with Dominic and Ray? And, Ray is able to retire, with his son being in the ring with him or whatever. I don't know. But I think
I can see that.
What's that?
I could see that. I could see like down the road in the next few years, they have a retirement match and that's his last match. It's Yeah, I forgot what I was going to make another point, but I forgot it now because we got off on. You got me thinking about Rhea Ripley. So, but
Yeah.
I was going to say, I know I sound like a hypocrite because I just said AEW has a crossover, but they never said, hey, we're not crossing over. But I still feel like the shows feel different.
Yeah.
So, and it'll be curious if we are going to see a Young Bucks versus FTR. I almost want to see the match on Dynamite because I want to see the Young Bucks be the Young Bucks. But I think if you put that match on Collision, it would stick out and it wouldn't fit in Collision. Or do they play it to where they have two matches? They have one on Dynamite, and it's booked by the Young Bucks. You got the high flying and the fun stuff, and then they have a rematch on Collision, and it's very slow paced and grounded. So they could do something like that to make some obvious things. But
Yeah.
if they're just gonna have a one match to solidify it, hopefully it's at a pay per view. But if it's on show, I hope it's on Dynamite because to me the Young Bucks style is not going to fit on what Collision is presenting right now.
Right. Or maybe they do a best of 3 and they have a match on each show.
There you go.
With the final being on Rampage, and it's all
the full 60 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do a
Yeah.
full 60-minute false count anywhere, all that good stuff,
Oh man.
But
yeah, and and it would work. I'm sure, they would book it and produce it where folks would not be able to sit down the whole match. And AEW is really hitting its stride. Professional wrestling is really hitting its stride. And I'm so glad that I'm here on a ride with being a big fan and being able to be here and talk about it. This is a good time to be a wrestling fan.
Good times. All right, well, let's get into some SummerSlam talk because that is little under a half hour away from kickoff, I think, or kickoff. I'm talking football. So let's speaking of football, let's play the Underdogs sponsorship commercial. Don't forget to use our code, but we're going to go ahead and play that commercial when we come back. On the flippity flip side, we're going to talk some SummerSlam, go through the card, kind of give some quick productions. We went a little longer on AEW, but that's all right. We'll talk SummerSlam when we get back.
Yeah.
Fantasy Sports Corp and Underdog Fantasy have teamed up to start your fantasy season off in the win column with Best Ball. What is Best Ball? It's quite simply the easiest way to win. No team management, no trades, no waivers. It's their biggest contest ever and it has only gotten bigger. You simply have to sit and win. You don't even have to set your lineup. Always get your best score every week. Just enter a contest, draft your team, and Underdog will do the rest. What could make this even better? How about free money, up to $100 using our exclusive promo code? Go online now and use the promo code NOSHAVE to double your deposit up to $100. You tell them Gingerbread sent you. Good girl.
Gingerbread.
Good girl.
Every time they say use promo code No Shave, I kind of smile. Like, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to go do it just to use my own code.
Yeah. So we are lucky to have a premium live event emanating from Detroit, Michigan. And it's the second biggest show of the year. And this card has got a lot of really good stuff on it. And of course, our favorite, Damn Battle Royal. And this is how they do my guy, L.A. Knight. Yeah. Got him in a damn.
Do you think he wins?
Battle Royal. I think he wins. I think this starts the grind to probably the U.S. title. U.S. title. So, but yeah, I'm really bummed, but I think they're starting to see it because he pulled out a victory against Sheamus, which I did not see that coming last night. So, hopes and prayers to LA Knight's career.
So I don't think he wins, but I still think he ends up going after the U.S. title. So U.S. title match got bumped off this card too, and it's now I think on Raw or something. So I believe aren't Austin Theory and Escobar both in the Battle Royal?
Mm-hmm.
So I could see the three of them getting into something, and maybe LA Knight eliminates Austin, which is going to set that feud going up. But I think WWE is going to not give him the win because it's WWE. I may be wrong. I've been wrong before, but I have a feeling it's going to be one of those. They think everybody's talking about how they built this battle royal just to put LA Knight over, but I could see him doing it for somebody else like Matt Riddle, or they haven't even announced all 25 competitors. Oh my God, it's almost as big as a Royal Rumble, but they haven't even announced everybody yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd be curious. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. I'd like to see him win, but I think they'll go.
Yeah, and
no
if he
happiness for
doesn't
you.
win, and if he doesn't win, that builds even more sympathy.
Yeah,
and whoever the shittiest heel is, they could put him in a program, and they're trying to make Austin Theory that shit heel, so that that could be a lot of fun. So
I think you put Dom in the battle royal and he wins it.
Yeah, I mean, they made the proclamation that the Judgment Day is going to win all of the belts.
Yeah, so that would be pretty cool if Dom showed up and won it. And
I'd like to see Rhea with a men's title. I think that would be.
I'd like to see Rhea and Gunther. That'd be a good match.
Yeah.
Whew. Sorry.
No chops. No chops.
What we got next?
So we got Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler in an MMA rules match, which, I think they're going to be able to tell a good story, but they're really going to have to be snug if they're going to be throwing punches and stuff, because the camera is going to tell the story and hurt the story at the same time. So I think Shayna goes over. I think this is pretty much it for Ronda. Thank you, Ronda, for coming back, and you can give the Piper's jacket back, and we'll probably see her inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame a couple years down the road.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is probably the last time we'll see Ronda in WWE this time around. She may come back; they always do. She might do what Brock Lesnar did: leave, go to UFC, and then come back again. But I agree. I see Shayna going over. I am curious though. So MMA rules match. I wouldn't be surprised if they go all out and actually have a somewhat scripted MMA fight, because you can spar without hurting each other, and they kind of go out there and do a sparring match. Because then, like I said, the camera won't necessarily pick it up as much. So it might be the way to do it.
Yeah, that's strong. That's a good one. Yeah, good. Yeah, good point. Sheesh, I didn't even think of that. Then we have Gunther and McIntyre for the Intercontinental Championship. And Gunther is on such a roll. He's got about 100 more days or so to break the Honky Tonks record. And WWE can rewrite the record books, and, and they'll do it with Gunther. Unfortunately, I don't think McIntyre returns the triumphant hero for us. I could see something happening and he ends up turning heel, following this. However the match goes, he ends up turning heel, and a heel McIntyre, I think, would be a lot of fun, and that would motivate him, I think, to re-sign a deal. And but yeah, long version to say Gunther wins, stays your Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah, I'm pretty aligned with that. I would like. It's one of those where with McIntyre coming back, his first match back, all the speculation what he was leaving and all this other stuff. I wish they would give him the title, but I don't think they're going to. I think I agree. I think they give it to Gunther, and I like the idea of a heel turn, and maybe that's what'll get him to re-sign. Because last I heard, I don't think he's re-signed his. He hasn't signed an extension or another contract yet. So
yeah.
Maybe that's part of the negotiation, or do they give him the belt in hopes to have him sign? I don't see him doing that. I think Gunther wins this because I think you're going to build. Well, you could give it to McIntyre and then start building Gunther and Cody, and start, as I don't know, maybe it's too early for that.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't think Cody's ready to have Gunther part of his hard times, and you don't want Gunther to be on the losing end again after losing his Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, shoot, what do we do? Keep the Intercontinental title on him. Figure out what we're going to do now with the tag team titles. Imperium carries the tag team championship. He's the Intercontinental champion. 100 more days or whatever. He loses the title to we were talking Riddle. Being the person to to knock him off, but right now it's he's had some great interaction with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Do they lose the Intercontinental or do they lose the tag team championships? And then they go back to their singles ways. Oh, I remember you, Gunther, you son of a bitch. If they get into a program, but so Gunther keeps his championship. McIntyre gets upset and comes back. Oh, while I was gone, you didn't, nobody cared, and now I'm here. I'm going to make you regret not caring, or something along those lines.
I want to hit rewind for just a second. Battle Royal. I just thought of something. What if Braun Breaker shows up and he wins it? Because hasn't he been missing from NXT for a while, and the rumors have all been he's coming up. So, because I was trying to think of who else could do it, and when I said there's people I haven't been announced, I was trying to remember who I was thinking about, and it was Braun Breaker. Because then I was like, then you could do a Braun Breaker Gunther storyline. Braun Breaker gets the Intercontinental title, and then Gunther goes on to do his thing. If they're going to push Braun Breaker as hard as we think they are,
right? Yeah, that'd be strong. Yeah, and then LA Knight, he's the bridesmaid once again.
Yep. And then he ends up getting into a feud with Austin Theory based on the elimination or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, sorry. Fast forward.
No,
back to our current program in time.
And we're back. This segment brought to you by Ritalin. So we've now we have a fun feud that's going on with social media darling Logan Paul versus my guy Prince Puma, aka Ricochet. And
when was he known as Prince Puma?
Oh, well, there was this little underground. Yeah, twice I got to talk about it.
By the way, I was gonna pitch to you. Well, I was gonna pitch to you offline. We'll talk about it real quick right now. I want to see if we can track down Lucha Underground like the series. And I want to do a podcast reviewing Lucha Underground, like 1 through, I think it was 3 seasons. Oh
my God. Yeah.
I was thinking about the other night, as much as we both loved it, it'd be cool to revisit it and talk about it. And then talk about like, oh my God, I didn't realize Thunder Rosa took on Penta El Zero Miro in a 6-man tag. Like what? So it'd be fun to go back and review some of that.
Yeah. Especially knowing what the wrestlers are doing now.
Yeah.
And so many great wrestlers came through Lucha Underground. Yeah, I think that'd be a
Chavo
blast.
Jr., Rey Mysterio, they were all there.
Rey Mysterio was over there for a while. Swerve, and
if we can track down where to watch it, I think that'd be a cool thing. Yeah. I'll do some research.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Back to our regular straight.
And Adderall. So Ricochet versus Logan Paul. Logan not super thrilled with his mic work, but he's doing a lot more than Ricochet is doing to really his, just his delivery. And I'm a Ricochet guy, but the delivery, kind of mechanical. But I think this is going to be a great match, a big win for Logan Paul, and this could be the start to him carrying one of those mid-card titles and him being on WWE programming a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree. I don't see Ricochet winning it as much as I think it would be cool to get him to win, but I don't see him winning it. And hopefully what I think the match will be, and I hope it goes this way, is forgive me, AEW haters, but I think this is going to be like what they call an AEW spot fest. I think this is going to be one of those high-flying,
absolutely
something we haven't seen in WWE in a long time. Almost like a luchador style match where they're going to be jumping off the ropes. They're going to be flipping and flopping, and it's going to be high adrenaline, go, maybe 15-minute burner. But I agree. I think Logan Paul wins it. I think it ends the feud too. I don't think we're going to see a rematch, maybe even a handshake at the end, depending on how much they want to push Logan Paul as a heel or not.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I'm not sure what's next for Logan Paul. Title reign, maybe, but if we're already talking, so he's not going to beat Gunther because, even if it wasn't Braun Breaker or we were saving Gunther, I don't see Gunther agreeing to lose to Logan Paul. And if we were going to have LA Knight go over US, I don't know what he would take in the meantime. Maybe he'll go down to NXT. I don't know. Maybe he'll challenge John for that title, but they could absolutely build him, or they just keep using him as a special attraction.
That's true too. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely drawing, and his merch isn't toward the top of anything. Of the 5 items, 4 are LA Knight. 3 are LA Knight. 1 is Cody, and 1 is Roman Reigns. So
wow.
I mean, he's not moving a bunch of merch. I'm talking about Logan Paul, but he definitely is ratings, because he's so well known, and doesn't that on his podcast he's very, very open. So yeah, definitely.
What if we get Logan Paul on the Monday after SummerSlam, come out and smack Cody Rhodes? That'd be a pretty neat little fun feud. Not that I have anything to base that on, but it'd be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be a good match.
Wow.
Sorry. Continue.
Yeah.
I keep scrolling off.
So we have the women's 3-way for the
don't make it weird.
For the undisputed championship. Asuka versus Charlotte versus Bianca. I want to say Bianca wins it, joins the new Hurt Business, but I think Asuka comes out the victor, and then goes into a program with Charlotte. I could also see Charlotte winning it. Now she's a 15-time champion, but I think Asuka comes out the victor, and
so I've got 2 scenarios in my head. One is Charlotte wins it to get her 15 time, and then Io Sky cashes in immediately and takes it from her. Because then you could still set up, which I think will be a dream match, Asuka and Io. Or I agree, I think Asuka might win it. I don't think Bianca needs to win to join the Hurt Locker. I think Bianca needs to lose to join the Hurt Locker, because I think in order for her to flip to heel, I think she needs to lose, get down in the dumps. Her boyfriend, husband, I don't know if they're married or not. You see them talking backstage, him consoling her, and next thing you know, she's out there in a proper, a nice dress,
all blacked out.
Yep, all part of the Hurt Locker. And now you've got another faction that can go feud with, the Bloodline, or they could feud with whatever iteration the Bloodline is going to look like, or the Judgment Day. And now you've set up Rhea and Bianca, which is something everybody's wanted to see for WrestleMania. So you can start building that.
That's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. So I think that has the potential to be the match of the night if Charlotte shows up, like the Charlotte we know, if she shows up, because she's had some not so majestic matches, and she's one of the best, but I'd like to see her really deliver. So then we have what could absolutely be a match of the night, and that's Seth freaking Rollins versus Finn Balor for the World Championship. And I tell you, this could go either way, and either way would be fantastic. But I think Seth wins it. Maybe you see a cash in, but I think Seth wins it, and I don't know what this means or any change within the bloodline, but yeah, Seth pulls out the victory.
Yeah, I agree. I think Seth wins it. Yes, probably match of the night. If they both show up and go hard, yeah, I could see that. But my problem with this whole card is most of the matches are somewhat predictable. Like, I don't see Finn winning this. Yeah, I agree. I don't got much more to say. I agree. So, I think it furthers the tension between the Judgment Day. Although I think they're stupid if they pull that trigger now.
Way stupid. Yeah. They need to ride this.
Yeah, especially with the bloodline breaking up, they're doing really good. So I don't want to. Yeah, I don't think tease that story just yet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be a great match, and super excited to see those two really tangle for something that means a lot.
Yep.
Considering last time they went 7 years ago, that's when Finn got hurt and he won the Universal Championship, the
Yep.
inaugural Universal. So then we have what I think will unequivocally be the match of the night, and this is my guy, the American Nightmare, got his shirt on. Whoop whoop. Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. Cody wins it. I read a few things that there was supposed to be a stipulation. It was going to be a bull rope. It was going to be a cowbell. It was going to be this, that. I guess it's just a straight up wrestling match. And I don't know. There it is.
So I think this goes to a no contest or a double DQ or double count out or something, and they go to payback for a stepped up match. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like it.
I think it ends up the story continues a little longer, and whether it's a double counter or maybe Brock goes over, and now I don't know, maybe he cheats to go over, he uses a chair, and then Cody comes out. But I think there's still going to be a stip match. I just think it's probably going to be at payback.
Wow. Yeah, there it is. I think I thought I didn't want to see them wrestle again, but I want to see Cody get even and continue on with his hard times and finishing the story. And but it makes sense. It keeps him at the top of the card in a good program, and then who he goes against afterward, I think, will be really interesting, because is it going to be continuing to build Cody, or is it going to build that person that he gets into a feud with before he goes, wins the Royal Rumble, and then wins the Universal Championship? Man, it's going to be freaking another year before he wins the championship.
Hey, we might be there, though. No, not might. We will be there, though. So
yeah.
I'm not paying for the $21,000 package, though. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
$700. Maybe we'll do the $700 one. But
yeah, there you go. Yeah. And then the main event, we have Roman Reigns, your tribal chief and undisputed Universal Champion, versus Jay Main Event Uso. And it's a tribal combat. So we're talking, no DQ. No DQ match.
Street fight, something. Yeah.
Oh man. So it'll be something else. I think it'll take every bit of Roman to come out the victor, but Roman continues on as the Universal Champion and the Tribal Chief. Now, what does the bloodline look like after this? So that's going to be fun.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit on our podcast. You can find that No Shave Man Cave, wherever you get podcasts from, and our YouTube channel. But I like the idea of having the elders at the ringside to judge it and points it. I think that's a cool thing, because I don't want them just to come out and just be like another plunder brawl, right? Like I want it to mean something, that they've added this tribalism thing to it. So with what happened on SmackDown, do we see Solo? Maybe he's not there. Does Jimmy get involved? So I'm like I said, I don't know what the bloodline is going to look like coming out this. There's been rumors that, was it Hikuleo from New Japan? I think it is his name. Never signed his deal, so there's been rumors he may show up and be part of the new bloodline. So there are things they can do. Does The Rock show up tonight? And is he at ringside? As who knows? It'll be interesting to see what we get out of this. I think Roman wins. There's no way he didn't lose to Cody and he's going to lose to Main Event Jay. No offense to Main Event Jay.
No.
But not if they're building him to take this title through WrestleMania. I just don't see him beating Roman. But I think it'll be a hell of a match for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's going to be
a lot
awesome.
Of super kicks.
And a lot of super kicks, a lot of Superman punches, a couple of ref bumps. The ref that does the pin won't be the ref that started the match. There'll be something,
See, I don't even think they should have a ref. If it's tribal combat, I think it should be like a last man standing kind of deal, in my opinion. And maybe that's what it will be. I don't know. They haven't really clarified it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Wow. So the card goes, Roman comes out the victor. We either get a Cody victory or we get some kind of wonky finish that takes us to a stip match. We got Seth frickin' Rollins coming out over Finn Balor. We have the women's undisputed championship with Asuka coming out the victor. Ricochet takes the L to Logan Paul. The ring general continues as our Intercontinental Champion. Baszler gets the victory over the most dangerous woman on the planet, and LA Knight,
Yeah.
gets screwed out of the SummerSlam Battle Royal. Fingers crossed he wins it, but I agree. I think someone could debut, and LA Knight's the last man thrown out. So,
Yep.
God damn it.
Always the bridesmaid.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, but that's all right. You know, I don't think it'll be the end of his run. I think it's just going to be, you know how WWE books. They're going to beat him down, try to bury him almost to have him have this rise, and that's just like that's what they feel like they need to do, I guess. So, I did notice on his promo on SmackDown that I felt like he is not one of the ones held to a script, because there's a couple things he said when he was looking at the Tron. Like, oh, that's the Miz. Like, he's supposed to be this. I was like, oh, okay. So I'm thinking maybe they're giving him a little off his leash a little bit and letting him kind of do his own promos, or he ad-libs it and gets in trouble, and maybe that's why he's not getting pushed. But
yeah. Part of the push thing, I guess, was he had some heat backstage, some politicking. So hopefully that's all put to the side, and we are doing our recap show of SummerSlam. And we're talking about LA Knight being SummerSlam Battle Royal champion.
Yes, sir. Well, to catch that recap show, where would you do it? Well, it's funny you ask. You could catch us on YouTube and Rumble. Hit us up there. Subscribe to Fantasy Sports Core. Every Saturday we're on here. Our YouTube and Rumble is No Shave Man Cave. Subscribe to us over there. We go live every Tuesday and Thursday. Knocking on wood, the power holds up, the thunderstorms stay away, and our schedules work out. But typically, we go live as hard as we have made a pact to each other to try as hard as we can, even to the point where maybe we'll solo it one in there, here and there if we need to. But Tuesdays and Thursdays live are YouTube, No Shave Man Cave. If you want to hit us up on socials, it's No Shave Man Cave. I'm not going to list them all. You know what they are. I don't even know what to call Twitter anymore, so X, whatever. But we're on all of them. So hit us up, No Shave Man Cave. If you want to reach out to us and would like to be on our show to talk, you know, if you're a wrestling fan or just want to interact with us, we encourage it. We love it. For all those from Thunder Rosa's show when we were on there that are following, maybe checking us out here tonight, we appreciate it. We're always looking forward to meeting people. And anyway, if you want to reach out to us, noshavemancave@gmail.com. We're pretty active on Twitter, X, whatever we're calling it. So we appreciate every one of you. Again, thank you to the Fantasy Sports Corp for letting us be on this platform. Huge show here. If you're just here checking us out, go check out some of their other stuff. Lots of really good other sports talks, from golf to football, getting ready to spin up some fantasy talks. Appreciate everything they're doing, helping us get sponsorships like Underdog and everything else. So we appreciate them. Like, subscribe, follow to theirs also. We appreciate it all. Time for that hot tag for the Marine to take us out.
Bump and feed. Hiya. Hey, thank you to all our men and women in uniform. Thank you so much. We're so proud of you. Take care, and make sure you get home safe. And until next time, my friends, my fam, thanks for joining us here in the No Shave Man Cave. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And we'll see you on the floor.